for improving our school systems, for giving an opportunity for businesses to actually operate, to have government step out of the way when it's not needed, to allow venture capital and allow for startups to actually create, to improve our communities. And we see those type of campaigns, all of us have, for a very long time. The difference is that we've heard somebody say every one of those issues, talk about every one of those issues. The difference is coming into this 2.5 years into this governor, this executive officer's first term, we've actually seen that. We've seen a deficit be flipped into a surplus. We've seen unemployment numbers go down. We've seen somebody basically challenge the education system and basically say we should have a better system. It's why a lot of you folks are here. A lot of folks in this room haven't ever contributed to a campaign before, but you own a small business and you realize that if you're going to be successful, you can't just play in business. You have to support those that are trying to do the job for us. And so with that, I'd love to introduce Governor Walker and to thank you for your work on our behalf.
Thanks, buddy, and thanks for such an introduction. Thanks for bringing such a great group of people together. And for those of you who are standing over there talking to me afterwards, I said after I'm done, I'll be brief. Come this way. We'll just get select floor over here. So, spread out a little bit. But I appreciate everybody coming out and enjoying a wonderful Wisconsin evening. I drove by the Harley Museum, and I was a little envious about my rotates back at home, and well, at my other home, the Maple Bluff, most nights I'm in Wisocnsin still, where my youngest son is still in high school, which is the next 2 weeks. And so I come by here, but usually it's in the mornings when I go on Tuesday mornings down the way. I go from my home in Wauwatosa over to Bruce Guadalupe School, where I've got a third grader I read with as part of a book buddy program. So there's nothing that keeps you more grounded than a third grader asking you questions about your job. But it's always good to come to this area, and we appreciate being able to drop on in and having y'all join us tonight. I'm just going to say a couple quick words. One of them thinking about, and you kind of alluded to this in your introduction, but 4 years ago, when I was first looking at getting into the race for governor, it was 2009, about this time, I looked at where we were as a state, and I said we could do better. Not so much for me, but for Matt and Alex, my two sons. Matt just finished up his freshman year at Marquette. Alex is going to go to the University of Wisconsin in the fall. And I was looking ahead for them and said, you know, I want them, like any other parent in the state, I want them to grow up in a state that's at least as great as Wisconsin I grew up in. And sadly, 4 years ago, I wasn't seeing that opportunity happen. And think about it, 4 years ago at this point, we kind of forget, because the last 2 years seems like about 20 years since that. But 4 years ago, at this time, the unemployment rate was 9.2%. Today, it's more than 2 points lower. 4 years ago, the rankings of the best and the worst states in the country had Wisconsin at the bottom 10. They're ranked 43. Just 2 weeks ago, we moved up to 17. 4 years ago, even within the state, the survey the statewide chamber does of employers found that only 4% thought we were heading in the right direction. 4%. The most recent poll has it up to 93%. So competitive, I want to know what's up with the other 7% that I need to work on. But you can see, and as we've seen the last couple of weeks talking about our state budget, just 2 years ago, because of the actions 4 years ago, we inherited a $3.6 billion budget deficit. And today, we have a budget that's going to end on June 30th with more than $500 million surplus. Decisions. And now going forward, because of that, we're able to invest more in public schools, we're able to expand opportunities in choice schools, and charter schools and others out there. We're able to freeze, as a parent of an incoming UW student, I'm pleased for the next 2 years, for the first time in the University of Wisconsin history, tuition will be froze for the next 2 years. We were able to do that because of our budget decisions and because of improvement in the economy. We're able to do things that we just didn't even dream we could possibly do, not just 4 years ago, but 2 years ago, because we made the tough but important decisions. Decisions that you all, your businesses and your home make all the time. But all too often, sadly, government, not just in Madison, but particularly in Washington, our politicians have been afraid to make those decisions. And so I appreciate you coming out to help me tonight. I look around this room and see a lot of friends who are just here tonight, and some who helped me in 12 and 10 before that. And you get a kick out of this thing. So I have to chuckle when I say this, because she probably just chuckles because she puts up with me on this stuff. Because she loves it when I go speak with other governors, because I get the kid that I have something none of them have. And that is the opportunity to have the only governor elected twice in the same term. But I wouldn't wish it on me the rest of them. But next year, as much as it seems crazy, we'll be up for election again. Third time, as Buddy mentioned, the last 4 years. And so I really appreciate the opportunity to share our message and to get out and not just win another election, but more importantly, to continue pushing this state forward, moving this state forward in a way that says, for all of you who are porters, who are entrepreneurs, who are business owners, we're going to continue to make it easier. We're going to continue to empower you to create the jobs that we should be creating government. We can create a better environment so you can do exactly that. And that only means more jobs and more opportunity. That means a better state, because it means more families, where there are people in those households have a job, there's food on the table, clothes in the back of their kids. People don't have to worry about making the mortgage payment. More opportunities in the state to move them to their households, our communities, and ultimately our state forward. And so, for that, I appreciate it. Maybe you like what I continue. Question?
Yeah, thank you. Great.
We got a quick question? Sure. What's the future of Wisconsin Capital Fund? I put to this budget another $25 million in, and I really reached out to the legislature and said I wasn't going to dictate exactly how they distribute it. I put $25 million in the budget and just asked them when I reduced the budget to work hopefully the assembly but across party lines. I still think they're going to have something done by the time the winter budget passes, and the $25 million I believe would be maintained. We think that's a minimum level, so to keep that in. We thought if we put too much more to begin with, they'd take that and spend it on something else. So we thought $25 million was a good way to start. And that ties with others we talked, the Capital Catalyst programs we've got, new startups, things even as simple as initially paying the rent. So you can make the payroll and other things like that. While you're just getting grounded and moving forward, we're going to do more of that.
Sure. Any comments on the decision today? What do I need?
I think it's a good decision. Well, it's one of those where, actually it's amazing because it's the Court of Appeals in Madison. So it's a pretty rock solid decision. Most people assumed it would ultimately be upheld in the Supreme Court, but the Court of Appeals, I mean, you've got what most people consider to be some pretty left-leaning elected officials in that Court of Appeals, and they upheld the law because the law is pretty clear. We felt all along, ultimately, it was a poor decision by the Circuit Court of Kane County. We thought it would be upheld at this point. It's still up in the air as to whether it would be the appellate court or the Supreme Court. So it's a good decision, but it's just common sense. I mean, there's no barrier to people based on economic standing. Because if someone doesn't have the means, they just ask and they can get a state issue photo ID. There's no reason to do that, but to protect the integrity of each every podcast, it's just a logic.
Sure. Prospects for tax reform, not only your plan, but Randy's plan.
Yeah, I think in the end, I don't know if it'll be exactly enough that Representative Dale Kaminga has, but I think it'll be pretty close. It'll certainly be greater than we originally put in. And obviously the new revenue projections based on an ever-growing economy came out a couple months after my budget came out. So we have worked with the legislative leadership to say new money should go into really three key areas. Automatically, a portion of the new revenue has to go into the rainy day fund. We've got the largest rainy day fund we've had in generations, combined with additional tax relief for the hardworking taxpayers of the state and additional funds for public education and school staff. So I think it'll be, in the end, a sizable cut, probably either the same level or close to the same area that Representative King has. The long term, and we're still working on this, but one of the things I'm kind of excited about is going even beyond that in the next budget, and that's something I'm going to talk about in the campaign club, because I think we can be even more competitive. I know there's a few people that have come up from over the border, and we'd like to make a pretty compelling argument to stay north of the Illinois border. There's already plenty of reasons right now. I mean, our economy's stable. We're about 2.5 points better unemployment rate than Illinois. We have a pension system that's fully funded. The budget is paying us taxes to continue to go down. All those things. But I'd love to be able to look at our income tax and say, boy, either it's substantially lower or not there at all. Pretty hard to argue at that point. If you make that sort of change, then there isn't a dynamic here that whether you're coming up from Illinois or Minnesota, or also across the country, this will be a tremendous springboard for economic vitality here in the state. That's what's exciting about going forward. To me, I always feel like how many times these becoming elections are about the future, not about the past. So as proud as we are of what we've done, we're going to be just as eager to push big goals going forward. Because I think just like in business, you know, if you're sitting back resting on your laurels with competition eating for lunch, instead we got to continue to be aggressive moving forward about what's the next big steps we're going to take. When we do that, I don't want to just be in the top 20. In the rankings, I want to be in the top 10 in the next couple of years, and I want to be fighting with Texas and the other states at the top of the list for the best state in the country to do business in, because it means more jobs, more opportunities, and better families, better communities for us. Great. Well, eat, drink, be merry. Thank you so much for your support. Spread out your